In a peaceful town surrounded by green hills and long, winding roads, there lived a young man named Daniel. Daniel was known by almost everyone in the town, not because he was rich, not because he was famous, but because he talked a lot. Daniel believed that sharing everything about his life was a sign of honesty and trust. If he had an idea, he shared it. If he had a dream, he told everyone. If he had a plan, he announced it loudly and proudly. To Daniel, hiding plans felt dishonest. He believed that open people were successful people. But life had a different lesson waiting for him. Every morning, Daniel would sit in a small café near the center of town. The café owner, an old man named Victor, had known Daniel since he was a child. Victor noticed something interesting about the young man. Daniel talked about his future constantly. One day he said he was going to start a business. Another day he said he would move to a big city. Another day he announced he would write a book. His plans changed often. But his habit never changed. He told everyone. One morning Daniel entered the café with excitement glowing in his eyes. He sat down at the same wooden table near the window and called out loudly, "Victor! I finally figured it out!" Victor slowly walked over with a cup of coffee and placed it in front of him. "And what have you figured out today?" he asked with a calm smile. "I'm going to start a fitness brand," Daniel said proudly. Victor raised his eyebrows slightly. "Oh? Yes? I'll create videos online, build a website, sell training programs, and become one of the most successful entrepreneurs in the city." People sitting nearby began listening. Daniel continued explaining his entire strategy, his marketing ideas, his future profits, his long-term goals. For nearly 30 minutes, he described everything in detail. Some people nodded politely, others smiled. But a few quietly exchanged looks. After Daniel finished speaking, Victor asked a simple question. "So when do you start?" Daniel paused. "Well, I'm still working on the exact details." Victor nodded slowly. "I see." The next day, Daniel came back again, but this time he had a different idea. "I've changed my plan," he announced. "I'm not starting a fitness brand anymore. I'm launching a motivational YouTube channel." Again, he explained everything. The videos, the scripts, the thumbnails, the audience, the growth strategy. Once again, everyone heard his plan, but weeks passed and nothing happened. No YouTube channel, no fitness brand, no business, only plans, only talking. Victor watched this pattern quietly for months. One evening, after the cafe had almost emptied, Daniel sat alone at the table, looking frustrated. Victor approached him slowly. "You seem troubled," the old man said. Daniel sighed. "I don't understand what's wrong with me." Victor pulled out a chair and sat down. "What do you mean?" "I have so many dreams," Daniel said, "but somehow they never happen." Victor looked at him carefully. "And how many people know about your dreams?" Daniel laughed. "Everyone." Victor nodded slowly, as if confirming something he had suspected for a long time. Then he asked another question. "And how many of those dreams have you quietly worked on without telling anyone?" Daniel thought for a moment. Then he realized something strange. "None," he admitted. Victor leaned back slightly and folded his arms. "You remind me of someone I once knew," he said. "Who?" "A young man who believed that talking about success was the same as building success." Daniel frowned slightly. "What happened to him?" Victor looked out the window toward the fading sunlight. He spent years announcing plans and never achieved them. Daniel felt uncomfortable hearing that. "But sharing plans keeps you motivated, right?" he asked. Victor smiled gently. "Sometimes." Then he leaned closer and said something Daniel would never forget. "Sometimes, the moment you tell everyone your plans, you destroy them." Daniel blinked. "What do you mean?" Victor didn't answer immediately. Instead, he stood up and walked toward the counter. Before leaving, he turned and said quietly, "Come tomorrow morning. I will tell you a story about a man who lost his dreams because he spoke too much." Daniel sat silently, wondering what Victor meant. For the first time in a long time, he began to question whether talking about his dreams had been helping him or quietly destroying them.